Hi, this is Elizabeth Pampalone. Thanks for watching Absolute Marketing. Today I want to talk to you about your website menu. This is something that a lot of people get wrong, and if you've ever been to a website that's been from a big, large company, you've actually seen what I'm going to talk about. If you've been to a website that's from a really small company that has kind of no marketing experience, you'll also know what I'm talking about. A lot of the clients that come to us, their menus on their websites are overwhelming. They are drop downs, and there are lots of words, and there are who we are and who we work with and about us. And there's just like all of these words in their menu. What happens when you overload your menu with words is people ignore it. They kind of scan it. It's almost like having multiple paragraphs of texts on your homepage. People are just going to be like, scanning it. I don't need that. Never mind. Moving on to the next thing. Where are the big words that are jumping out at me? So what I recommend when you're building out your website menu, first you want to actually create an outline on a written piece of paper. A little old school, I know. You can do it on your phone as well in like a note, but I like to do it on a piece of paper. I like to start with the main pages that I know I'm going to have. Homepage, about, contact, services. Those are kind of the main four. You can also have a blog page if you need that. And then maybe if you have any other pieces that you might need, like an FAQ or something. And you write all those down and you kind of put them in a loose structured order. So you might have your homepage first, then your about page. Some people like to put their about page later in the line and put their services first. And the names of these pages is not really relevant. You might have about versus about us, or you might have services versus how it works. You might have a pricing page that's separate from your services. Pricing might be right on your services page. Pricing might be nowhere to be found on your website. It depends on your industry. So once you've got these pages laid out and you kind of got them in an order, I leave like 4 or 5 lines between each of these pages. Then I go back and I start to fill in what goes on each page. So maybe on services, I'm going to have a list of my services, and then I kind of sketch out in a rough box. You don't have to be an artist to do this. Very, very simple. I sketch out in a rough box, where my text is going to go, where my title is going to go for that service, maybe my price, and maybe a button that says contact. Maybe the button has more information, takes them to a separate page where they can read more if it's that kind of a product or service where they really need to go in depth. And then maybe there's also a photo or an image that I've created to go with that product or service. So there's some options there. If it's a product-based, you're obviously going to have a cart and things like that. And I start to build every single page the same way. Maybe on my about page, I'll have, my history of the company, bios, president, CEO, all those kind of things. And then I'll have staff bios, maybe staff photos, or maybe not. Maybe that's not how my company is structured. So you'll really write down each one of those little pieces. Now, when you goes to actually creating the menu, you're going to take those high level items. If someone was to come to you right now and they said, okay, I'm interested in what you do. I want to look at more of what you're doing. How does that work? Would you have a how it works page, which basically is listing your services and talking about them and how your process works. So you might have how it works at the top, or it might just say services. And then you might have a pricing page, or maybe it would be your how it works page, has its pricing on it. That's only 1 to 2 pages and then menu so far. So you have services or how it works and pricing, or maybe you just have one, okay? Then you're gonna have another page that is for your about, another one for contact, another one for your home, and sometimes your home page is also in your logo. If you click on your logo in the corner of your website, that actually will take you to the home page. A lot of people know that, so sometimes they don't even put the word home in the menu. Sometimes they do. It just depends on the audience we're looking at. And you're going to just pick these high-level pieces like about. You might have our directors, our team, our history. Like those might be separate pages for you, but don't try and drop them down. Create an about page, and when I click about, on that page I might see read more about our history, click here. Read more about our directors, click here. Read more about our staff, click here. That is all on the about page. Once I get to the about page, I can choose what section I want to go to, and then subsequently click on, let's say, our team, the staff, click on that, and now I'm on the staff page. So it is an extra click for people, but if you think about it, if you have a menu with a drop down, they still have to click about, and then they have to click the button that they want, team or the history or the directors. So you're still doing the same amount of clicks. So think about that when you're building out your menu. High level is best. Using pages to bridge the gap to other pages is fine. But really, if you think about it, all of that could also be condensed and put on one page. So don't try and cram too much into your website in general. And when it comes to your menu, keep it as simple as possible. If you go to getabsolutemarketing.com, you can actually see our revamped menu and take a look at it for yourself and see if it makes it easier for you to navigate. And then take some of those ideas and use them on your site. Talk to you next time.